It seems that the national government, this is always one of there's two parts here, yeah? One is they messed up majorly changing funding for the disability sector last year. We know that. We called that out. And so they've reversed it. But their reversal is a bit like, oh, nothing to see here, we'll just reverse it. And it seems that the disability sector, maybe not what they want most of all, but certainly a part of it is they're like, hey, how about like an apology for this 18 months of shit you've put us through? No, we'll just change it. Let's have a look what was announced today.
A year and a half on from the government's trainwreck handling of changes to disability funding, a new model has been rolled out. Gone are controversial limits on how parents and carers spend their allocated budgets, making way for more flexibility and freedom. While the sector's welcoming it, many still want an apology for the way it's been handled.
For sure.
As Lloyd Burr reports.
It's been 18 months of...
I have to apologise because I watched both 1 and 3 tonight when I was looking at this. Hopefully it's in this one. The minister actually does the opposite of an apology. She stands by the decisions they made 18 months ago, which they're now changing, which is an acknowledgement that they were bad, but she stands by them. It's quite surreal.
Protests and petitions in the disability community, that pressure finally paying off today.
We've taken the community's feedback on board and will bring back more choice and control for flexible funding.
Louise Upston cleaning up the mess left by previous Minister Penny Simmons, who had presided over botched budget restrictions that blindsided the sector.
The last year has been incredibly challenging for many disabled people, their families and carers.
Challenging because Simmons clamped down on what could be considered frivolous spending.
Yeah.
Funding has also been used for massages, overseas travel, pedicures, haircuts for carers.
Because the last thing we want to do is fucking humanise those disabled people, allow them to feel a bit better about life with some help from the government. That'd be a terrible thing. Oh, hey, now speaking of, completely off topic now, I got an email during the week. You know the lady that's been at all his stand-ups? She shares the office with him in Botany. So they share an office in Botany.
Oh, there she is there. Yes.
Yeah. So someone messaged me during the week, I can't remember who, sorry, and said they share an office. So it's a bit weirder even still. It's like you got to bring your workmate along with you everywhere you go sort of thing. So that's another layer to this conversation as well, which is not the conversation we're having right now. I'm sorry for the tangent.
Prompted a backlash from the community, a partial backdown and the sacking of Simmons by the Prime Minister.
The right person to lead that work and do that work is Louise Upston.
Yeah, it's always good when the leader blames someone else and throws him under the bus, doesn't take accountability or responsibility themselves, like a good CEO would, Chewie.
In Upston 18 months, but today the revised plan was finally revealed.
The purchasing guidelines will be removed entirely.
Replaced by a new system where each disabled person is assessed and allocated a budget based on their needs.
Can I just say, Chewie, this is becoming a bespoke way of doing things, which always is exponentially more expensive as well. So this is like that classic example around COVID when some people were getting COVID payouts that weren't in the country or didn't need it. But we realised and we were told that to actually go through and work out every single individual case of who was getting what would cost so much more than the 1 or 2 or 3% of people that didn't need it. So in other words, it was the right fiscal decision to make. There is no way that they're going to be able to roll this out and it not be far more expensive when they have to look at every single person and every single case, rather than just doing a blanket rule for everybody and giving them all a good amount of money. So this is going to be a part of what you hear. This government is obviously saying we got this so very, 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 very wrong that we're now going to spend more money than we need to fixing it up when we could just pay everyone more and it'd be cheaper. So they're actually acknowledging how bad they fucked up by what they're doing now, even though they won't acknowledge it. They are acknowledging it, if that makes sense.
I think on its first pass, like these 3 bullet points that are up on screen at the moment, it doesn't seem too bad to me. But I have no experience. I have no experience in the sector at all. I know that we have people that follow BHN that are disabled that do have to interact with these systems. They were very, very vocal in our chat at the time that the changes that were coming in were going to make their lives exponentially worse and more difficult. I want to hear from them now please let us know what you think about this.
They made their announcement at I don't know what you call it, but a whole bunch of suppliers get together in a big hall, whatever those things are called, a conferencey type thing, and the disability. Oh, it was for disabled secondary school students going out of schooling. That's what the thing was. And people who were there, who were the advocates and the workers, they say it's a pretty good start. So it's not. We're not saying this is a bad thing to do, but what we are wanting to make sure that we go is, if you have ballsed up, if you have made hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people's lives more miserable for the last 18 months, just man up and just go, we got it wrong. A politician going, we got it wrong, actually goes a long way, rather than, and I believe we're going to see it, Louise Upston standing by the decisions that were made, which they're now having to correct.
Yeah.
Have relative freedom to spend that on goods and services they and their carers need. But once the money's gone, it's gone.
There's a responsibility that goes with that freedom to spend their budget according to their plan and their choices.
The announcement today, I think, was foundational because
so they're not unhappy.
The flexibility.
They're saying it's okay.
More importantly, the trust in people to spend their packages and manage funding to live the lives that they want to live.
I think the government's really come out with a positive announcement that is giving certainty to disabled people in terms of where the system is going. I think it's great they're bringing in choice and control, or at least making choice and control more of a priority. I think it's also great that they're looking at assessments and trying to find a way to make them more uniform across the country.
Has the government got it right?
I think they've got it right. Let's watch now.
Many will be watching for an apology from Simmons over her handling of the saga.
And that's a festering wound that we would love to see an apology for.
In our community, a lot of people would like a formal apology in the House.
Unlikely, given Upston is defending her.
So you stand by what Penny Simmons did?
Absolutely. It was necessary. It was unfortunate. It was challenging. It created...
Hang on. How can it be necessary and unfortunate? It was necessary and it was unfortunate. Those two things shouldn't go together. If you said it was necessary, we had to make some hard decisions about whatever the policy is, that you can follow the logic. But it was necessary and unfortunate. Those two words shouldn't be put beside each other when you're not apologising for something you should be apologising for, albeit, as we've just heard those advocates say, a better place than where we once were, right? Acknowledging that.
Absolutely. It was necessary. It was unfortunate. It was challenging. It created an incredible amount of stress.
She lost her job because of it, though, the way that she handled it.
Look, it was a challenging time. It was a very big challenge that as a government we had to address.
You acknowledge, though, that the optics of it looked mean-spirited at the time.
I accept that it was incredibly challenging for disabled people.
Sometimes to step forward.
Nope.
No, that's not good enough.
Nope. That is 9th floor PR spin. We made a mistake. We got it wrong. The previous minister got it wrong under the leadership of the cabinet. We are correcting that today. Especially, I'm going to go back because let's just hear these words she uses, right? Because the words she uses, they all say, we did a really bad thing. All the words she uses was, we did a really bad thing, but you're standing by that decision. Yep. So you're standing by the decision of doing a really bad thing. Yep.
Unlikely, given Upston is
listen
defending
to the words.
So you stand by what Penny Simmons did?
Absolutely. It was necessary. It was unfortunate.
It was necessary. It was unfortunate.
It was challenging.
Challenging.
It created an incredible amount of stress.
It created an incredible amount of stress. So you're saying
which
the decisions,
we are sorry.
Yes, the decisions that your government made created an immense amount of stress, but it was the right decision to make.
She lost her job because of it, though, the way that she handled it.
Look, it was a challenging time. It was a very big challenge.
Yeah, but it wasn't a challenging time for you. Do you not fucking get it? You chose to make decisions that made it a challenging time for some of New Zealand's most vulnerable people. Now is the time. You're writing the rights. You're writing the money. Good. But now is the time, after you say that, it was a challenging time, finish the sentence, for the people we put in those stressful times, and we apologise for it. It wasn't a challenging time for you. It was a challenging time for the people you were screwing over.
As a government, we had to address.
You acknowledge, though, that the optics of it looked mean-spirited at the time.
I accept that it was incredibly challenging for disabled people.
Sometimes to step forward, you have to step back. Sometimes you have to say, I'm sorry, and we all make mistakes. So being sorry is part of life.
But today, it seemed to be the hardest word.
I agree. Being sorry is sometimes a hard word to say. No, look, it's one of those things, Chewie, and we use this phrase not irregularly on this show. It's they didn't stick the landing. They corrected something in policy, right? I am a bit nervous about it. We'll wait to see how it pans out, because I've been involved in around primary schools when bulk funding came in, where the government basically goes, there's your money. When it's gone, it's gone. I'm nervous about that for the disabled sector. That's what they've literally said. Here's your money. When it's gone, it's gone. Because sometimes you may need more for an unforeseen reason. So I'm not like, I hear that they're the experts and they're going, it's good. Right, but I'm still like, okay, let's now see. It's good. Let's see how it pans out, and how about that apology? Like, it just seems, so hollow. Yeah.
Where's the harm? Like, it's not like one of those things of like, oh, if you have a traffic accident, never admit fault, or that sort of thing. Never say sorry, because that's you admitting fault. This is a government. Like, when we say that the disabled sector is they're some of New Zealand's most vulnerable, they're almost 100% reliant in some cases on government funding of getting an appointment to make sure that they have carers, that they have facilities, sometimes the tools to interact with the world and move around within it. Like, they're incredibly reliant of the government to see what they need to live a more full life. Like, can you imagine? Like, as able-bodied people, I'm the captain of my own ship. You know, I can go and do whatever the fuck I want within limits. A disabled person does not have that. And I think that's a very hard thing for fully abled people to put themselves in that headspace. You know, you see people that get injured and they might experience just a little bit of that for a little while. And they get real mad and they get real frustrated and they get real emotional about it. Now, imagine that's your life. And the government comes in and says, you don't deserve this money because we have an example, maybe, I'm not going to show you, of someone getting a haircut with government money. Of going overseas for some reason that we won't discuss. Like, it was a shit way to talk to the disabled community. And I think it 100% deserves an acknowledgement and an apology, and they can do that. And it's just like, yes, you're saying sorry, but it's still saving face. It's funny when we talk about the CEO Prime Minister. I've told the story before about how I made a silly comment on the radio once when I was doing Talkback about, I'll do $1 million giveaway, and I'd always say special conditions apply, because I had a Zimbabwean $1 million bill. And the guy won, and I gave it to him. It was a funny overnight thing. And then he had to go at the place wanting $1 million. And my boss said to me, don't say sorry and don't admit that you were wrong, because as soon as you do that, they have culpability to come back against you. But this is not, even though he wants to be the CEO Prime Minister, this is not a business. This is a organisation, the government, that is charged with looking after New Zealanders, especially the most vulnerable. They're not going to come at you and sue you because you got it wrong and said you got it wrong. It's not. You cannot run the country like a business. The apology should be almost the first thing. And we got it wrong, so this is what we're doing to fix it. We really apologise. Decisions were made around the table. We are all culpable for it in cabinet. We got it wrong. You could even farm it off. We got some advice, and perhaps we should have looked further. You know, but the apology, I think, I'm not going to say is as important to the people who are missing out, because completely understand how stressful life became because of your decisions, National, without the money. But I just, it seems to be, you know, this government seems to be good at dehumanising things left, right and centre. Whether it's Māori, it feels dehumanising to go, we got it wrong, but we were still right. Off you go, here's your money. You know, it doesn't feel like that's what you should be doing to human beings you're charged with taking care of.